You need these accessories for your Steam Deck. How's it going, everyone? Welcome to the second video here on Deck Ready. I was absolutely blown away by the support on the first video, so thank you for watching it. I cannot stop thinking about this device and how excited I am to finally use it, so I decided to channel that energy into finding some of the best accessories to buy before it comes out, because you know, you're saving a ton of money on the actual device since Valve has taken a loss, so you can take that money you're saving and spend it on a ton of accessories. The first thing I'm gonna recommend is specifically for the people who pre-ordered the 64GB edition and the 256GB edition of the Steam Deck. It's a little boring, but it's a tempered glass screen protector. And the reason you're going to want that is because you're going to drop this thing. It's definitely going to happen. I know you're sitting there thinking it comes with a carrying case, but I promise you, as someone who has dropped every revision of the Nintendo Switch and been very happy I applied a tempered glass screen protector, I'm telling you right now, you're going to want to pick one of these up. For the people who pre-ordered the 512GB edition, I think you can probably wait until the Steam Deck is actually out to pick one of these up. I don't think it's as necessary for you because you paid extra to get an anti-glare glass screen on your device. So if this kind of negated that anti-glare look, that would be kind of a bummer. But if you're on the other edition, I think it's also glass, but you just want that extra protection. And these things cost 10 bucks. It's a $10 I definitely recommend spending. One thing you need to buy before you get your hands on any edition of the Steam Deck is a new micro SD card, because even with that 512GB model, you're gonna run out of storage so quick because PC games, they're big, man. They're gonna take up a lot of storage space, especially if you're gonna be emulating on this thing. You're just gonna want that peace of mind of even more storage. I was able to find one for $150 that has a terabyte of storage. Yes, that is kind of expensive, but again, it's expanding your storage by a terabyte. And if what Linus was seeing in his initial preview video turns out to be true with the final hardware, there's not gonna be that much of a speed difference between the onboard SSD and a micro SD card. So you may as well just go ahead and buy the SD card now while you can get it, and you know you can just pop it right in the console day one and you'll be good to go. Another thing I added after watching that first round of preview videos and unboxings is a new charger for the device. I know the one it comes with is going to work just fine, but the actual cord is permanently affixed to the wall mount side of the thing, so you're going to want one where you can unplug the USB-C cord and just throw it in your backpack. I found one from Anker. It's 45 watts. That's what the Steam Deck website says the device takes, so it's pretty cheap as well. I think you should just grab it just to keep in your bag, because everyone hates dealing with one charger, right? You got to plug it in next to your bed. When you move to a different room like the living room or something, you got to plug it in there. You leave the house, you're out for all day, your battery dies, you don't have a charger. You know, there's a lot of issues you can run into if you only have one charger. So yeah, I'm sure Valve is going to sell their own proprietary charger, but this one is better because you can unplug the USB cord. That is a game changer. Sticking with the theme of recharging the battery though, you're also going to want to get a battery bank for this device because it's a handheld, right? And if you're going to be running it at the max 15 watt TDP, that battery is going to drain quick. I think that's actually the biggest criticism I've seen in all of the Steam Deck previews is that the battery is not amazing. It's not bad by any means. It's definitely better than average. It's just going to run out quick if you're playing hardcore 3D games on it. So yeah, you're going to want a battery bank to go along with it. I promise I'm not sponsored by Anker here, but they're the easiest one to find on Amazon. You get the quickest shipping, so I'm just going to go with them. The first power bank I found is the Anker PowerCore 3. It's a 19,200 milliamp hour huge cell battery with 45 watt power delivery, which is exactly what your Steam Deck is going to take. It's got two USB 3 ports that guaranteed will work to charge your device. I have an Anker power bank where the USB-C port only accepts power input, so be careful when you go to buy one of these things. If you plan on using C to C, make sure that the actual battery bank can charge from C to C. This thing costs 69 bucks, which on its own, kind of expensive, but it's a battery bank you're definitely going to use, right? Like this is something that you might already have, but if you don't, I promise you'll get some use out of it and it'll extend the longevity of your Steam Deck when you're out and about, which is the whole point of having a handheld. But if you're planning on also making the Steam Deck a desktop, like this is going to replace your current desktop PC, there's a few other things you're going to want to pick up before everyone and their mom has a Steam Deck and is buying up all the stock on Amazon. The first one of those things being a monitor. Now there are plenty of monitors on Amazon and this is totally subjective, so it's really up to you which one you want to get, but for me that sweet spot is going to be 1080p 1080p resolution. Now hear me out, I know that the Steam Deck can output up to 8K, but if you're playing a hardcore 3D game on it, I feel like the most resolution or most pixels you're going to be able to pull out of this device is 1080p realistically. Like that's where you're going to max out, if that. So with that being said, I found an Asus monitor that's 1080p and 144 Hertz for $189, which in my opinion is a pretty good deal. I've got a lot of monitors at home because of my old day job, and I have had no issues with Asus over the years. I have no problem recommending them. And 189 bucks again is a pretty good deal. 144 Hertz is what I would go for because it's a good even frame rate. They have 165 Hertz ones for around the same price, maybe even a little cheaper. But when you're splitting that number in half, it's hard to lock to a good frame rate and have it look nice on the screen. I would go for that nice even 144 Hertz. And this monitor supports G-Sync, which unfortunately isn't compatible with FreeSync. It only really works the other way around, where if you have a FreeSync monitor, it'll work with G-Sync. But I'm not even positive if the Steam Deck is going to support FreeSync anyway. And really, FreeSync only matters if you're playing over your monitor's refresh rate. So yeah, on Dead Cells, you might be getting over 144 Hertz, but I think in 99% of the cases here, it's not really gonna matter. The next thing that's super important for your Steam Deck desktop setup is a hub or a dock. Now, Valve says they're making an official dock for the Steam Deck. It's not gonna be ready at launch. It should be ready shortly after, but that's something that they're probably not going to take a loss on. It happens with Microsoft and the Xbox Series X and PlayStation and the DualSense. Like, they don't take losses on accessories. They take losses on the actual console, right? Because they don't have to take a loss on accessories. Now, there are a few different docks on Amazon that say they're generic, and when you search Steam Deck dock, they come up, but they're very clearly oriented towards the Nintendo Switch, which I think is a lot thinner overall than the Steam Deck. So I really wouldn't screw around with buying one of those before you even have the device in hand, because then you gotta mess with returning it. You gotta find a dock that works. It's just a headache you don't wanna deal with. What I recommend is getting a USB-C hub. And the one I found, again, is from Anker. I promise guys, I'm not sponsored by Anker, but Anker, if you wanna sponsor this up and coming new channel, I am totally open to the suggestion. This one's got a lot of ports, so forgive me for reading this one off my phone. You're gonna get a USB-C port, 2 USB 3.0 ports, an HDMI port, which is very important for that monitor, an SD card port, and a micro SD card port, which is mainly for like if you're dumping footage to the device, I guess, or something like that, or if you wanna, I guess, install some other games, like emulated games, onto an extra external SD card, but I think those two ports are gonna be a little bit useless in most cases, if I'm being real. The game changer here that you're really going to wanna pay attention to, and honestly, any hub you buy, if it's not this one, needs to have this, is power pass-through. This accepts about 100 watts of power and outputs 85 watts of power, which is way more than your Steam Deck needs, but the Steam Deck only has one USB-C port. So if you're using a USB hub to power a bunch of stuff, you're gonna wanna charge it, right? Because the battery will just drain and die way faster if it also has to supply power to other devices. So yeah, you're gonna wanna use a dock that has power input and output like this one does. So we've got the USB-C hub, we've got the monitor figured out. Oh, we need a keyboard and a mouse. Let's start with the mouse. So I'm gonna recommend the one I use for my gaming PC at home, which is the Razer Viper Ultimate. Now this is a cool mouse, it's wireless. It comes with a little charging dock that's like contact, so you put the mouse on the charging dock when it's dead and it just charges up, and you plug that obviously into the USB-C hub. Again, that's why you need one that accepts power. But the cool thing is the actual little dock has a USB dongle in it, so if you just want to use it like a wireless mouse, you can take the little dongle out and just plug it directly into your hub or your PC. Also, you can use the same cable that connects to the dock to use the mouse in wired mode, so if you're more of a wired mode gamer, there you go, it supports that. And this one costs $88, which Razer can get really expensive, but this mouse is in line with all of its competition. I know some people don't like Razer though, so if you want to stick with the same form factor, I'm recommending the Logitech G502. This is like the best-selling gaming mouse of all time, I'm pretty sure. This one's a little bit more expensive than the Razer mouse at $104, but the difference between 90 and 100 is like not that much. So if you really like Logitech, I wouldn't save the $10 and go with the Razer one, because then you might be a little bit disappointed. As far as keyboards go, I'm weird. I like to have the same brand of keyboard, mouse, and headset. We're gonna talk about those more in a second. I'm gonna recommend the Razer Huntsman Mini. I have the full-size Razer Huntsman as well. I really like that keyboard, but the Mini is $100. It's got the per key RGB lighting. It's a good weight. The keys feel really nice. I like the switches in the Razer Huntsman a lot. I'm definitely not a major keyboard expert or anything. I'm not like a keyboard guy who does the soldering and all that, but if you're into those mini type keyboards that have enough room for your fingers to travel on them, especially if you got big hands like me, I can easily recommend that keyboard. I'm not gonna step in any hot water and recommend any other keyboard. That's just the one I use. I like it. I'm gonna recommend it. This item is one you can kind of make a call for yourself on if you really need it, but it's a case for the device. Now with the Nintendo Switch, you can get stuff like the Satisfy grips, which make the whole thing easier to hold and feel more like an actual controller in your hand, and that's cool. Dbrand is already working on something similar for the Steam Deck called the Kill Switch. That is a great name. I really like that name, but yeah, it looks like it's going to be a wraparound grip for the Steam Deck that might have some other functionality. Like if you go on the website, there's a few different listed features that are still blacked out. I would guess just looking at it that one of those things is a battery bank, or at least a battery bank holder. That's like my pie in the sky wish, because it would kind of suck, right, if you buy the battery bank to have a long cord and always be tethered to it. So yeah, if you could keep it connected to the device in some way and just have the cord go from the bank to the Steam Deck, that'd be pretty cool. At this point in time, that's really the only option for a Steam Deck grip. I'm sure once the device is out there and all these different manufacturers have their hands on it, we'll see more and more coming down the pipe, just like we did with the Nintendo Switch. But yeah, you can go reserve your own Kill Switch right now on Dbrand's website for $3, and it might be worth taking the gamble, right? Like it's $3 you might not get back. The last thing I'm going to recommend, you could probably guess, is a nice gaming headset. Now you can use pretty much any headphones you want with the Steam Deck. It's got a 3.5mm jack. It also has Bluetooth, but this is a gaming device. And if you're playing multiplayer games, you're also going to want to have a nice microphone so your friends can hear you. Now the tricky thing here is that I was originally going to recommend my gaming headset that I use on PC, which is the Razer Blackshark V2, and that would work just fine, but it uses a USB 3 dongle. So yeah, you could use that in docked mode, but what if you're in portable mode? You're gonna need a headset with Bluetooth. Now, thankfully, the reason I bought the Razer Blackshark is because the battery died in the headset I was using for years before it, and absolutely loved the SteelSeries Arctis 3 Bluetooth. I really have nothing but great things to say about SteelSeries headsets. They feel really comfortable on your head. The battery life in them is really good. It lasts a long time, like 20 hours or something on a charge. The mic in this headset is retractable. It just goes right into the ear cup, which is really cool. And you can also use it in wired mode or 3.5mm mode if you don't want to use the Bluetooth version. It's basically like all around one of the best headsets on the market. I'm just crazy, like I mentioned, and I need everything to match. So when I started using the Razer Huntsman and the Razer Viper mouse, I was like, this headset's dead. I should just get one that matches the mouse and keyboard. So I got the Blackshark V2. And honestly, no complaints there either. I'm gonna be real though, I like the SteelSeries just a little bit more. It was worth the $100 for sure. So yeah, like I mentioned, if you made it to the end of the video and you really wanna see more, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, set those notifications to all, and tell me what the first game you're gonna play on your Steam Deck is down in the comments below. As always, guys, my name is Jimmy Champagne, and I will see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. I have like 4 channels, and the Halloween one, the outro is Shape On, so I almost said that. We're just gonna go with thanks for watching here on Steam Deck.